Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful. I quote that dude so much for three of us ever being there.
Yeah, man. I miss that guy. He should be a guest on this podcast.
He should. He really needs to be.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, folks of every persuasion. How you doing today? Good. Welcome to the Jared Cast. My name is Jared Ancanan, and with me is the lovely, talented Jared Lombardo. How you doing today, Jared?
I'm good. I'm tired. You're making me record in the morning again. Uh, but I'm doing good. I can't complain too much. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy that I finally watched The Square because I've been putting it off for so many years. But I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm excited to hear about it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Palme d'Or winners, Palme d'Or, or I don't know how to do French, but
Yeah.
the highest, most prestigious prize in the Cannes Film Festival goes to a very select few films since 1945. And today we're talking about two of them. The first being, as you heard, The Square from 2017.
Yep.
2017, a film that kind of satirizes art culture, like art gallery culture and art museum culture, and and then Bong Joon Ho's 2019 film Parasite, which kind of took the world by storm and introduced a lot of people to Korean cinema and to the new Korean cinema movement. Um, and eventually went on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture and for Best Foreign Language Film, which is crazy. Almost never happens. Never happens for South
Yeah.
Korea.
I don't.
So
I don't think it's ever has it ever happened.
for a foreign movie to win Best Picture,
And best foreign. Yeah.
yeah, it's the first. Yeah,
Okay.
and it was the first Korean movie to win the Palme d'Or as well. And I
Mm.
think The Square was only the second Swedish.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so
Elite group of films we got here.
yeah, yeah, man. I'm excited to talk about both. But first, since we're not doing a Christmas related episode, we're gonna do some
Mhm.
Christmas related lists and holiday related lists. So today we're doing a fun one. What you got for us, Jared?
We've got top five Santas in TV and film. Specific Santas, and so you think Tim Allen nailed it, you might hear his name. You think Tom Hanks is a legend, you might hear his name. I'll never tell. You'll find out. Yeah, pretty simple top five, but I struggled with it because I don't watch a ton of Christmas movies, and I'm bad at thinking of Santas apparently, and so this was a tough one for me.
It's all
And
good.
since
It's all
I
good
since I struggled, why don't you start us off?
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I tried to focus my list on unconventional Santas because there's a lot of them in movie history, and I like the ones that kind of subvert my expectations as soon as I see a Santa on screen. Um, and I think the whole entire movie of Jingle All the Way does this, not just with the Santa scenes, but I love the Santa swarm that Arnold Schwarzenegger fights in the factory. That's my favorite shit ever. And that's my number five. I love the Santa swarm. I think it's hilarious that they're just a bunch of average Joes trying to get through their day, and this like big foreign dude comes in and ruins everything. Brings a bunch of violence onto their home court. Yeah, I love everything about Jingle All the Way. I love the way it's still, I think, the most honest Christmas movie about how everything is just stressful for adults, and that's it.
Yeah.
um, I think it's also the movie that showed George Lucas Jake Lloyd because for some reason that kid became Anakin right after. Um,
True.
yeah, but yeah, the Santa Swarm in Jingle All the Way.
Nice. Fun fact: never seen it.
That's
So
good.
it's not on my list. So good pick. My number five is also a bit of a curveball. Not at all because I ran out of Santas that I actually like in film. But number five, it's gonna be familiar. Santa brings gifts, and what sweeter gift than the sweet release of death? So Ricky from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part Two
Oh my god.
is my number five Santa.
I forgot about him. I forgot we could do horror too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had to get one in there. Good episode. Go listen to it.
Yes, yes. Great episode. My number four is Mall Santa from Bob's Burgers, played by
Oh,
the legendary Henry Winkler. I just love that Santa has to deal with the kids' bullshit, and,
yeah.
and he does it surprisingly well. You know, when Louise asks him for a pet shark, he gives her a goldfish, and it ends up being sweet. But it's always fun to see uh like a straight man play against that crazy family.
Hmm.
And it's one of the reasons why I love that show so much.
Yeah. Great pick. TV's kind of slipped my mind this top five, and that probably would have made the cut. Um, but what did make the cut for me, number four, a movie that I'm kind of hit or miss on, but it's fun at the end of the day, and this person kills it in their titular role of Bad Santa. I'm talking Billy Bob Thornton. Um, he's a legend. He's just great in everything, and so even if I have mixed feelings on this movie, he's good in it, and so he's my number four Santa.
Good pick. Good pick. Yeah, I am also very mixed on it. I don't. I saw it once. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Yeah, same.
Um, but it wasn't bad. It was
Yeah,
not bad.
it was just fine.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, my number three is so stupid. It's Paul Giamatti from Fred Claus, because he's literally just Paul Giamatti with a thicker beard,
Yep.
and it doesn't change anything about it, the typical Paul Giamatti role. But I love again seeing Santa Claus played as a straight man against a crazy person, and Vince Vaughn. It's not Fred Claus is not a good movie. Let's be real, but it's still very charming. And I appreciate their relationship as brothers, even though they look nothing alike. And yeah, Paul Giamatti as Fred Claus being sick of Vince Vaughn's shit is my number three.
Good pick. Good pick. My number three. I'm going classic Santas now. The rest of my
Woo!
list is all good old straight up Santa Clauses. Starting with maybe, at least for our generation, probably the most beloved Christmas movie. I feel like everybody worships the ground of this movie, but it's a great movie, and so I can't shit on it. I love this movie too, and that's Elf. I'm talking Ed Asner.
Yep.
He's just a wholesome little Santa. Like his, I never not smile when he's on screen, and he just sets up Buddy perfectly, and he's just a fantastic little Santa.
I agree. I agree. I almost picked for my list the fake Santa and the first fake Santa that he finds.
Oh,
Goes, you smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
damn! That actually would have been a better pick. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I had to take out that guy though in favor of my number two, My number two is also an iconic Santa for this generation. It's and for some reason the internet just keeps sexualizing him, and I don't like it, but it's still entertaining. Of course, I'm talking about Jim Carrey's The Grinch and Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Hmm.
Um, what an amazing performance, and like the just first of all the technical aspect of it, like that's an insane suit to wear for that many hours, and he
Yeah.
still goes full Jim Carrey, like just sweating his balls off in the middle of that in the middle of those prosthetics. And it's a good performance. It sells the like everything that the cartoon did as well, did just as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, Great pick as well. Um, my number two. Uh, I, I zoned out for a second because I wrote down the wrong actor's name because this movie was remade and I didn't want the remake. I wanted the original. And so I'm going to go with all the way back to 1947 with Edmund Gwynn from Miracle on 34th Street. It's a very
Ooh,
wholesome movie. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just some good old family fun here. He does a great job playing another classic Santa. Doesn't step out the box. He's not murdering people like Ricky. Surprise, surprise. But he's a great Santa nonetheless.
Yep, 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 yep. I agree, and I've seen both versions of the movie, and they both like were very
Yeah,
pleasantly surprising, like
yeah.
pleasantly surprisingly good. I remember the first time seeing the old one, and like I was like, wait, this is turning into a courtroom drama. What's going on? This is weird. um, but it ended up paying off really well. I loved it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. My number one is nothing like that. It's not nearly as wholesome, but it's also a little bit wholesome. I don't know, but it's it's probably the biggest curveball on my list.
Mm.
It's Michael Scott versus Phyllis Vance in The Office when they play competing Santa Clauses in The Office.
Very specific.
Yeah. So apparently Michael really, really wanted to be Santa, and also Phyllis really wanted to be Santa, and so they play. So they set up Santa chairs in opposite sides of the office and compete. And of course, Michael gets really, really petty and really, really selfish and has to learn his
Shocking.
lesson. um, and yeah, it's really incredible, but like it still ends up being a really nice, wholesome Christmas episode by the end. And yeah, that's one of my favorites for sure. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, another one that slipped my mind in the TV world. But my number one is probably the most nostalgic on this list. Comes from one that I watched every year, and it's another cute, wholesome one, but this time animated. I'm talking the stop motion Christmas special Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm talking Stan Francis. Uh, it's great. He's the best Santa, despite it just being a voice performance. I
Yep.
think as far as straight edge Santas, you can't top Stan, so don't even try.
Straight edge Santa. That's great.
Straight edge Santas.
uh, yeah, man. I agree. I agree. I need to rewatch that because it's been like over a decade since I've seen
Mhm.
any of those old Rudolph stuff.
Yeah, my family watches it every year without fail. It's we there's three movies that we watch without fail, and that's that Elf and Christmas Vacation.
Oh
And so
wow.
you get a nice little variety there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's good. That's good. I think we try to do a different one every year. I'm debating whether or not to show them Tokyo Godfathers.
Mm.
because there's some stuff
It's
in there that they definitely won't like, but it's so goddamn crazy that like
yeah.
I gotta show it to them. I don't know.
I
We'll see.
still need to watch it. You've been recommending it for like a year and a half now, but I
Yeah,
still haven't. I still haven't seen it.
it's pretty great. It's pretty great, and it's like the most. It's the most like straightforward Satoshi Kon movie,
Mm.
which is but it's still really interesting.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to.
faux show, faux show. But not today. Today we're
No,
talking
no.
about we're going to Korea.
Mm.